This day each year marks great sacrifice and enormous loss. While my personal story is one so many who served in the military share, today is meant for all of us to join together to provide strength as we pay tribute to the men and women who are not with us today. If there is anyone who is here today that has lost a loved one in service to our country, known as Gold Star family members, would you please rise and afford us the opportunity to support and honor your loved one? Thank you. Our prayers are with you. If I could, I would sit with each of you and I'd listen with deepest heart as you told me about your family member or friend. It was not noticeable, but I stood with you. I have been witness to your loss firsthand on the battlefield. I live unbearably with extreme PTSD from that witness. I stand forever by my commitment. That commitment resides in a scripture that I know all too well. I call it the Warrior's Creed, but many know this as John 15:13. Love has no greater gift than one that would lay down their life for their friends. That's my commitment, the same as it was while I was active duty in the Marines. I'm just one story, one experience. I'd like to share some of my story and then would greatly appreciate a moment with you personally afterwards to share a hug. In 2010, I was on my first mission in Afghanistan. That represented my fourth year in the Middle East, the first in Afghanistan. October 13th, 2010, the Taliban executed a coordinated attack throughout Regional Command East. For those that do not know, that is the area that butts up to Pakistan, where the lion's share of the fighting was located. I was en route to Ghazni. Not too long into our flight, we took fire and lost lift in our helicopter. As we prepared to ditch, the pilot realized we were headed towards certain death. So he spun up the motor and we crippled back to Bagram Air Base. Shortly after the crash landing, we walked away from the WarHawk and Chinook and it went up in smoke. It felt like a scene from a movie, and I remember thinking, well, damn, am I just lucky or what? I would go on to travel throughout Afghanistan. It seemed that every time I flew with a crew, we would be shot at. I gained a reputation. The crew would joke with me, and the teams would say, I would say to the teams, they know I'm coming and what I can do. So let's kick some ass and not let them win. I was determined to save lives. The crews would smile at me and fist bump, and we would have each other's back. That's when IGY-6 was born, meaning I've got your back. But on October 13th, 2010, 4 Marines were killed instantly, members of 3rd Marine Battalion, 5th Infantry Division. Immediately, people were reaching out to me seeking answers, and I just wasn't authorized to divulge any information. One person we lost was Lance Corporal Philip Vinage. He was 19, he died 16 days into his tour in Afghanistan. And just like that, he was gone. This name's important because his family and mine were interconnected. During that time, his unit, known as Dark Horse, would go on to sustain 25 killed in action. Over 230 would lose an arm or a leg or both. And of that 230, I do not know how many are alive today, as so many have died by suicide. Every 13 minutes in America, someone is dying by suicide. Every day, more than 22 veterans die by suicide. And I encourage anyone struggling with this to seek help as soon as possible, even if it means calling my organization. We'll do whatever it takes. All of this is why I do what I do today with my wife and daughter and the many volunteers at WarHawk. Because those who have seen war are not very good at coming home. Our minds remain at war. WarHawk PTSD Service Dogs was born, and since then, I have had a new commitment. I've been fortunate because with the love and support of my community, friends, and colleagues, my beautiful Marine Corps wife, my sidekick, my daughter, baby WarHawk, they prop me up so that I can make a decision to go forward and be my better self every day, to choose to push through the adversity. I want to afford others that same opportunity. And over the last 3 years, we delivered 45 PTSD service dogs to 18 states, like she said. Family, brotherhood, sisterhood make up a foundation to go on, to be strong, to give back. It is my honor to thank all of you who've helped me get this far. Continue to do that for each other. To those we honor today that are no longer with us, it is my utmost hope that I continue to make you proud through actions and deeds. To Adam, Paul, Philip, and Addie, and so many others, please shine a light and protect me from up above so that I can continue to do more on your behalf. My closing words are one from the famous speeches of President Ronald Reagan. It is a Memorial Day speech that many have forgotten because much time has passed. Allow me to renew his words with my voice. If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity to the individual has been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth before. The price for that freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those that say that we're in a time where there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the heroes I'm about to speak of. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world in Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles in a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barbershop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There, on the Western Front, he was killed, trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We are told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading My Pledge, he had written these words: "America must win this war. Therefore, I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone." We must realize that no arsenal and no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood to those that practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans. In closing, this comes back to me now. I would just like to say this. We live in a strange time. There is so much hate and dissension among every walk of life. It is easy to live in that space. Negativity isn't far from view. Just turn on the news and you'll see it. They will give you a reason to hate one another. You want to have false promises? Listen to a politician. They can tell you anything you want to hear and deliver on nothing they say. But rather than get sucked into that hate, I want to work on love. Ending phone calls should end with, "I sure do love you," not goodbye. Goodbye, in my line of work, is final. Let's normalize love because we have enough hate right now, and that serves zero purpose. But love is a universal language. It's what stood this tree up back in 1974. It's what brought me here today, right here. It's what I hope blossoms from this ceremony today and takes the adversity and turns it into action. Stay prayed up and go forth in remembrance and resolve to live well in their memory.